very good. I can visualize you all. Okay, you are ready for your first chapter of geography, resources, and many of you might have read this. It's not at all difficult. You must have studied in science as well. And what about history? You've completed. Now children, one more thing I want to add before I start this chapter is that don't get confused among your notes and your worksheets. You can do all your work of worksheet and assignments and question answers in the same notebook. That means history. You can make separate history, geography and civics. Okay, so don't get confused and don't rewrite those same questions. If they are already there in your worksheets, then okay, but you are doing on your own, so you would realize that they are there in your notebook. So if it is the same questions are in the textbook, then you don't need to write them again. Just understand them. And just one more, in 1 minute we'll just revise of history. What was it? The dates. What dates are important? Number 1. Number 2 was the classification, how British did. Then afterwards how historians did it. Then we did the British. How do we come to know about the British? Yes. And then about Indians in that era. Okay, now we come to this chapter 1 of geography, resources. Now first question that comes to our mind is, what are resources? Isn't it? Okay, your ma'am who's teaching you in front of you is standing and teaching you is a resource because she's teaching you, she's giving you knowledge, isn't it? This screen on which you're watching is a resource. The air we breathe is a resource. Water we drink is a resource. Food you eat is a resource. That means everything that around us that satisfies our need is a resource. It has utility and usability. Okay, so that is a resource. Okay, so if you get a question, what is a resource? The answer will be this, that whatever satisfy our needs is a resource. And then you can give example, the water, when we are thirsty we drink it, the food, when we are hungry we eat it, we go take a vehicle and we go to different places, and so on, so forth. Okay, now we come to the next one, that the value. As far as the value is concerned, which resources are important and which are not, isn't it? So what is the meaning of value? Value means worth. Okay, now let us clarify this point with the help of examples. Let us take a metal, gold, silver, iron, copper, okay, metal, and on the other hand, landscape. Now, metal is very cautious, it is costly, okay, it is costly, okay, you have to pay money for it. So, it has economic value, okay, people are earning through it. With iron, you make machines, you make tools, and further resources are made with the help of those machines and those tools. And ornaments are made of gold, silver and copper. You have read in science also how copper is used in electricity and all. Okay, so metal has economic value. And what about the landscape? When you go out for a walk in the morning or in the evening, you enjoy the beauty. So it has aesthetic value. Okay, so one has economic value and the other has aesthetic value. But it's not always aesthetic value. Even that can be changed. How? Now, you must have seen some places water is scarce. So what the people do? The water which is available in the lake or in the river, they might purify that water, take steps to purify the water and take that water in tankers and give it to different other places and earn money, or they purify water and sell it in bottles. So that water which was not valuable becomes economically valuable, or it becomes very, very important over there as far as earning is concerned. So in other words, we can say that technology and time plays a very important role in making or turning any substance in a resource and adding its value. Now let us take another example. It's given in your book also, that your grandmother, when you fall sick, she might be preparing medicines out of herbs like tulsi or neem or some other herbs she might be taking, and she might be preparing medicine for your ailment. Ailment means sickness, okay, for fever, headache or stomach ache if you complain. But when you grow up, you get educated, or you're skilled, you get educated and you may patent that medicine. Patent means getting the right, officially you get the right to use it, to make it, to prepare it, sell it, or give the right to others to sell it. Only the person who is the company, or you must have heard recently that Israel is preparing medicines for COVID, but they are waiting to patent the medicine, then only they will share it with others. So that is the meaning of patent. So we can say that technology and time plays a very important role in making any substance a resource. But on the other hand, human beings are very important resource. Without the skill and knowledge of human beings, it is not possible. Take for example, fire. It was man who discovered fire, and then it was further used as a resource differently to produce different resources like cooking, food, in factories fire we use. So this is how one discovery, one invention leads to other invention and other resources. Take another example, that is the invention of the wheel, and then it was used for transport in factories, okay, in those machines and all. Then water, running water, it becomes valuable when hydroelectricity began to be used or to be created from it. So time and technology are important to make any substance into a resource, but human beings, their skill, their knowledge, the technology they use is most important in it. Now we come to the next point. I hope you have understood these resources. Now let's classify them. Okay, we can classify them in under three headings. That is natural resources, man-made resources, and human resources themselves. Now let us look at natural resources. Natural resources are the resources that we find around us, and they don't need much modification. That is what natural resources are, like air we breathe, water we drink. So many, you must be going with your parents and you might be seeing this forest or trees or soil, etc., etc. Okay, but we have to be very careful when we are using these resources, though they are in plenty. But if we are careless, then they might get exhausted. Okay, so now let us divide again natural resources into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. What do you understand by renewable resources? Like water we drink. Okay, renewable resources means it gets renewed very fast. Okay, air we breathe, solar energy, okay, it all gets renewed. But people play with it. How? Due to pollution, due to wastage of water, due to cutting of trees, because the roots, they absorb water and thus there is stock of water under the ground. But when they are cutting the trees, they are wasting water, slowly the water may become scarce. So we have to take care of these resources as well. We have to be very careful. Judicially we have to use them. Okay, now we come to the other, that is non-renewable resources. What are they? Coal, then metals, okay, then petroleum, mineral gas. They take thousands of years to get renewed. So we have to be very careful that they don't get exhausted. So there was a time government is taking steps. There were rules and regulations that water, the meters were put. Now in cities and all, if you happen to go to cities, you'll find the flats, 20-story, 24-story, and they're using groundwater and the wastewater. And the result is that even the groundwater is drying out. So there are some rules. Government has banned in some places the usage of such wastage of water, and similarly the coal was also for a time being. So for some years it was not sold, it was banned. But then there are some factories where you cannot still not do without coal. So it was lifted. Okay, so this was about natural resources. And secondly, natural resources, because there are some characteristics. Okay, characteristics in the sense, like if you go to desert, you will find scarcity of water. But if you go to a place like this where there's a lot of greenery, then you find water. Okay, so we can say that natural resources depend upon some condition, that is the climate, the altitude of a place, how far it is from the sea, the terrain, T-E-R-R-A, and terrain means the slope. You cannot grow much on the slope. Okay, even the soil may be rocky. So it depends. So you have to be, the distribution of natural resources depends upon these features. Okay, clear to you? The types, these natural resources is clear. Now we come to the next, and that is the man-made resources. Very easy. This screen which you are watching on is man-made, isn't it? The house that you live in is man-made. The vehicle which your father drives is a man-made. So man used the natural resources to make these resources. So these are man-made, but his education, his knowledge, his skill is required. Technology, his skill is required. That is very important. And now we come to human resources. Human resources are the most important. And if we need human resources to be fruitful in the society, then what is needed? That the humans have to be healthy. If they don't eat properly, if they don't eat healthy food, they'll fall sick and they'll be burden on the society. They won't be useful, isn't it? So you should eat healthy food, children, and take rest wherever necessary. Not rest all the time, but take rest in intervals. Okay, and next is healthy. They have to be healthy and skilled. It's very, very important. That is why you're getting education, so that you'll be skilled, you'll be fruitful, you'll be useful, a resource for the society. Got it? So they have to be healthy, they have to be skilled. This is very important in human resources. Okay, here I have written, so human resources to improve the quality of the skill is called human resource development. Okay, it is very important. And you know, teacher who's teaching you could not have done if she would not have been trained, or she would not have been educated. You are getting skilled through this education. So there are schools, there are colleges, there are universities to make people skilled, so that they'll be fruitful resource in this society. Got it? So this was human resource. Now we come to the next point, and that is conservation. What is conservation? You all would be knowing it. Using the resources carefully, so and giving them time to get renewed, so that they don't get exhausted. And that is the meaning of conservation. And next is conserving. Of course, you have understood conserving. Now, then there is a balance. When there is a balance in the need to use the resources and conserving the resources for the future generation, it is called sustainable development. Don't forget this sustainable development. What is sustainable? So these are the points you have to remember. Sustainable development is when there is a balance in the need to use the resources and conserving it for the future generation. Got it? Don't forget. Okay. So children, we have water day in your school, environment day, and so many, and you make posters and you write essays. So you are all aware how to conserve, okay, and how to sustain these resources for future generation. That every drop has to be saved. This water is very precious. We should not let anyone cut down the trees. You know, I will not go again in detail. Why? Okay, then planting more trees, reusing, recycling, conserving, all these help the resources that they would not get exhausted. We have to now, it's a time of lockdown. But children, there was so much earlier hue and cry about the earth getting polluted. So much warming of global warming talk was going on, but nothing much was happening. People were more concerned in earning money than saving the earth. But now earth is healing, and when we hear news that the waters of rivers, especially Ganga, are once again clean, we feel very happy. So earth is healing. On one, okay, we are indoors. I hope it soon will be outdoors, soon we'll have control over this disease. But on the other hand, positive side is earth is healing. Okay, earth is, there's not so much pollution, and consumption of petrol has also gone down. So we are conserving, we are helping in this way earth to heal. Some principles that we should follow: respect each and every, and care should be taken for each and every living being on this earth, whether birds, whether plants. We should have pain for them. Okay, I have seen here Rawatbhata, people are very conscious. I have seen at places they keep these pots and all for birds and animals. They are very conscious, and I feel so happy to see all that. People, they talk about birds and animals. They have this pain, and for they plant. This is the greenest of all in Rajasthan, I think, this Rawatbhata. So I'm lucky to be here. Okay, so still you have. You can plant, you take care of the plants around you, don't waste water, stop others also if they are, and make the bags out of the old clothes, don't buy new clothes, don't waste money. Okay, so this is how we can save our environment, minimize the depletion, conserve the earth's vitality and diversity, SITY. Okay, enabling communities to care for their environment, helping others also. Like your school has so many programs, so it's not only school but it's educating, it's enabling others also. Like I think you had that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan also, and there are some videos also on your website showing how children had gone to the shopkeepers and other people, vendors, and told them, instructed them, helped them, advised them to use those bags, and so this way you were enabling others also to take care of the environment. You also gave some of those plants, isn't plants too, so that they can grow trees. Then changing attitude and practices. Okay, so children, this is over. Now let us look at the questions again. A reminder to you, children. You are fortunate. How? Because you can watch. If you have not been able, I'm sure you must have understood. So what are resources? Different kinds of resources. Okay, conservation. Okay, so you must have understood. If not, then you can again pause and rewind it, again watch it. So it won't be very difficult for you, and you can also read from your textbook. Now it will become very easy for you. Now next, let us look at the question in the book. Why are resources distributed unequally over the earth? We have already discussed, because of the climate, altitude, and so on. You just go through it and write, go through the text. What is resource conservation? We have discussed what is the resource conservation, using carefully and giving time to renew the resource. Why are human resource important because humans are the ones who can wisely, carefully use the technology, the skill to make more resources for the society. For what is sustainable development, that also we have discussed. Balancing the need to use the resources and conserving for future generation. Now take the correct answer. Which one of the following does not make substance resource? I think quantity, isn't it? Value and utility, both I just discussed with you. So quantity does not tick with it. Tick the correct answer. Okay, which one of the following does not make a substance a resource? So quantity. Which one of the following is a human made resource? Human made resource, medicines, isn't it? Spring, it's natural. Tropical forests are also natural. Then complete the statements. Non-renewable resources are, you have to choose those which have limited stock, made by human beings, derived from non-living, A, isn't it? Those which have limited stock. Now we go to the next one. You can do on your own, but in this next one, there is, write in 100 words what would happen if resource disappeared. You can imagine and you write this. It would be fun and it will help in your English also. So don't leave this and do it. And this you can do in book itself, the other exercises, and you have workbook. So worksheets, worksheets. So that also you can complete in your the same notebook. Okay, so it's clear to you. Anything which is not clear, you can always give in comments or in WhatsApp. The questions, you can WhatsApp the questions or you can put it under comments. Okay children, so see you on Monday for civics chapter 1. Bye.